We all like to think we're the smartest person in the room. We read the long form essays. We listen to the 3-hour podcasts. We win the arguments on Reddit. And we leave the office feeling like we've got it all figured out. But there's a quiet trap in modern psychology. The less we actually know about how the world works, the more convinced we are that we're geniuses. It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. But in everyday life, it's much simpler than that. It's the illusion of intelligence. Today, we're not looking at your IQ score or your college degree. We're looking at your everyday behavior. Here are 5 psychological signs that you might not be as smart as you think you are, and how to actually fix it. 1. You can't stop saying, "I already know that." Pay attention to your next conversation. When someone starts explaining a concept, a new technology, or a new story, what's your gut reaction? Do you immediately cut them off or nod aggressively just to say, "Oh yeah, I read about that"? We do this because we're terrified of looking stupid. We think admitting ignorance makes us look weak. But here's the reality. Truly intelligent people are obsessed with what they don't know. They don't see a gap in their knowledge as a flaw. They see it as an invitation. If your ego is so fragile that you have to pretend you're an expert on everything, you aren't smart. You're just loud. 2. You care more about winning the argument than finding the truth. Think about the last time you got into a debate, whether it was about politics, finance, or even where to go for dinner. Were you actually listening to the other person's perspective? Or were you just waiting for your turn to speak, hunting for a flaw in their logic so you could destroy it? When your primary goal is to be right, you stop learning. You start ignoring new data just because it doesn't fit your worldview. True intelligence is flexible. It's the ability to change your mind when faced with better evidence. If your opinions haven't evolved in the last 5 years, you're not smart. You're just stubborn. 3. High consumption, zero production. This is the ultimate modern productivity trap. You listen to 5 business podcasts a week. Your TikTok saved folder is full of life hacks. Your bookshelf is packed with self-help blockbusters. You feel incredibly smart because your brain is constantly flooded with information. But let's look at the data. What did you actually do with that information? Has your career moved forward? Have your habits changed? Is your life actually better, or are you just using information as a form of entertainment? Hoarding knowledge without ever applying it doesn't make you smart. It just makes you a consumer with a massive ego. 4. You overcomplicate the simple things. We've all met this person. You ask them a straightforward question, and they give you a 10-minute lecture filled with industry jargon, buzzwords, and abstract theories. They think it makes them sound sophisticated. In psychology, this is often a defense mechanism to hide a lack of deep understanding. The legendary physicist Richard Feynman famously said that if you can't explain a concept to a 5-year-old, you don't truly understand it. Smart people take the complex and make it simple. Kicking up a cloud of dust just to prove you know big words is a sign of intellectual insecurity, not intelligence. 5. You are instantly emotionally reactive. When you see a provocative headline on your feed, do you immediately get angry and share it? Or do you pause to check the source? When someone criticizes your work, do you immediately get defensive? Or do you take a breath and evaluate if they have a point? The space between a stimulus and your reaction is where your intelligence lives. If your emotions can be easily manipulated by a stray comment or a clickbait headline, you aren't in control of your mind. And if you aren't in control of your mind, you can't claim to be smart. Look, realizing you might not be as smart as you thought isn't a failure. It's actually the exact moment true intelligence begins. The second you admit your cup is empty is the second you can finally start filling it up. So, let's be honest in the comments. Which of these 5 signs hit a little too close to home for you? Or do you think that in today's cutthroat world, always wanting to win the argument is actually necessary to survive? Let me know your thoughts. If this video gave you some clarity, hit subscribe and let's keep simplifying the mind together.